Welcome to the Clique podcast. I'm Dani Watson, a mindset and manifestation expert and founder of the Clique, a company that helps women overcome their fears and limiting beliefs to create a life and business that they love. Within this podcast, I will help you get clear on what you want, identify the blocks that are holding you back, transform your mindset and raise your vibration so that you can co-create magic with the universe. If you are looking to design a life that truly sets your soul on fire and manifest more success and abundance, then you are in the right place. Hello ladies, and welcome to this week's episode. I am marking my 1-year anniversary since we purchased our dream home in Spain. Since the day that we got the keys to our new house and we moved all of our family over here to find our little piece of paradise in the sun. It was really interesting, actually. I shared this on my Instagram. I had asked for the universe when I was looking for a home to buy. I was asking the universe to send me a piece of paradise. I wanted a home that actually felt like paradise. And what's really interesting is the area in which we bought the house is actually called El Paraíso Alto, which means the high paradise. So the universe really did give me exactly what I'd asked for. But it didn't give it to me straight away. And this is what I want to discuss in today's episode. How often things feel like they are taking forever. It can feel like a very, very slow process in the beginning. However, life has this snowball effect. And when you start to gather even just the tiniest little bit of momentum in the right direction, all of a sudden, things can just take off and pick up speed quicker than what you could have ever imagined. And this was very much the case for me when it came to purchasing this home here in Spain. Now, just to sort of give you a little bit of an idea, it was, as I said, it was 6 years in the making from me actually putting my intentions out there to the universe. Now, prior to this, I had thought about maybe one day I would, like to have a home abroad somewhere, perhaps a second home. I'd like to live in the sun. But I was never really decisive about this. I was never very clear about, okay, this is exactly what I want. And I am making this desire now a non-negotiable. I know and I trust that it is going to be mine. Previously, it always just been a bit of a hope or a wish without any sort of real clarity or intention behind the thought. But 6 years ago, I decided to consciously create my reality. I decided from now on, I get to choose the life that I want to live, make decisions based on my desires, and just trust that they are already a done deal. But it didn't happen overnight. And to be honest, in the beginning, there were moments when I really did have a bit of a wobble about whether or not what I wanted was really possible for me. Even when my business, the first year, I made 6 figures within my coaching business. And, my business was relatively successful. However, making 100,000 is very different to then going out and being able to purchase a home that is worth far more than that. We're talking about a home that's worth in the 7 figures. So I could sort of start to see the success, but I thought it is going to take me a long while to get there. If it's taking me 1 year to get here, how long will it actually take me to get there? And what I was forgetting was this compound effect that we can create. So we may get to a certain point within 1 year. Let's say you get to £100,000 within your business within 1 year. It's not necessarily true that it's going to take you another year to create the same amount. And the reason for this is something called the compound effect. The compound effect of your desires, your intention, your beliefs, your energy, and the inspired action you are taking. Okay? So when you start to kind of experience what happens when you focus your thoughts, your energy, your beliefs, you align those things with what you want and you start taking inspired action, you start to see a little bit of the results mirrored back to you in your reality. And to begin with, those results might just be little things that you experience, little manifestations, little wins. And what happens when you have received some of these little wins, you are adding in energy to your ultimate desires. What you're doing is you're receiving clarification from the universe that what you are doing is working. You are receiving evidence that what you are wanting is on its way. Okay, and so if you continue to show up consistently for your desires, you are consistent with your intentions, with your energy, continuing to work on your beliefs, you're continuing to take that inspired action, you will find you start to create this snowball effect. And those little wins soon become even bigger wins. And those bigger wins become even greater wins. And then all of a sudden, it feels like this snowball is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're picking up more and more speed as you roll your way through life. And then all of a sudden, it just feels like everything floods in at once. And it can honestly feel like it all happens within the blink of an eye. And this is exactly what happened for me. It definitely felt, in the early days, it kind of felt not necessarily slow, but sort of steady. And it was exciting, but it certainly didn't feel like this kind of overnight success thing, Getting to 6 figures in the first year, yes, whilst that was very, incredible and exciting, 6 figures was still way off from where I knew I wanted to be if this dream home was really going to become a reality. Okay, so that slow and steady gradually picked up momentum and it just became quicker and quicker and quicker. And this is, as I mentioned, it's the product of this compound effect, this snowball effect. Okay, now the important message behind this is that sometimes when things do feel slow or things aren't taking off, it's so easy to put the brakes on because we think maybe what we're doing isn't working. Or we're not doing enough because maybe I'm seeing a few little wins here and there, but they're certainly not the big wins. You have to know and trust that everything can change in a moment. You may have a really, really slow year, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the year, everything explodes for you. Clients show up at your door, the money is in your bank, the success you want to see appears. I've mentioned this before to some of my clients when I've helped them with sort of the business side of things, and it's, let's say, preparing for a certain launch within their business, where leading up to that launch, it might feel like nothing's really moving. Things feel quite slow. Things feel like, maybe there's a few things happening here and there, but there's no sort of great big launch that they were expecting. And I keep saying to them, well, don't blow the whistle before it's over, okay? Don't pull the plug on the launch until you actually get to the end of it because of this compound effect. Because all at once, everything can change. In a single day, everything can change. Even in an hour, things can change. I've had points within my business, launches where I've launched certain products or we've had, certain offers running and literally everything has flooded in right at the end. But it has only been able to do so because I haven't lost that consistency. Consistency with my intentions, with my focus, with my thoughts, with my desires, with my beliefs, with my energy, with the inspired action. I've remained consistent through the whole process. And this is what people find difficult to do. It's easy to have consistency when you feel like you've got everything to play for, when you've got time ahead of you, where you think, okay, I've got time to get there. But as soon as the deadline becomes nearer, all of a sudden it feels like I don't have the time yet. We start to operate from that place of fear and panic because we're so programmed into this time-space reality where we think we need time in order to manifest things. We believe that things have to always take time. Success has to take time. It takes work. It takes effort. We're forgetting that we're co-creating with the universe. And the universe doesn't see time. The universe can give you anything you want in the blink of an eye without this rule that, we have to have struggled for months and months and months in order to earn it. The universe doesn't understand that logic, okay? And this is what I would like to remind you today. Even when it feels slow, things can literally change in a second. Start to pay attention to areas within your life where things are starting to create a bit of momentum. And it might be the smallest little thing, okay? Because what you focus on is going to expand, okay? So if you ignore the small wins, you have no hope in creating momentum behind them. Those wins aren't able to turn into bigger wins if you were ignoring them. So those little micro wins that you perhaps experience on a daily basis. Maybe today your micro win is just getting up and actually meditating, doing, the thing that you've been telling yourself you've wanted to do for ages. Maybe it's just sitting down and actually, writing out some goals for yourself, writing out like a vision of how you want to be in a year's time. Pay attention to those micro wins. Start celebrating those micro wins and put some energy and focus behind them, because that's going to help you create that momentum. Okay? What you focus on is going to expand. So if you're in that energy of progress, I'm doing a little bit more each day. I'm getting better each day. I might not be taking huge leaps, but I'm certainly making some progress. When you put your energy and focus onto how you are progressing, that progression just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Again, it's that snowball effect. Sometimes we get frustrated with the idea of having to wait things. We're in a society where we can get things at the click of a finger, right? You can watch one of your shows instantly. You can binge watch an entire season without having to wait the next week for the next episode. You can order something online and it can arrive the same day. You can order a takeaway and it'll be there in half an hour. We're so used to having things at lightning speed that when we are forced to wait a little bit, we don't like it. We get frustrated. However, if you knew what the universe was cooking up for you, you would not mind waiting. If you absolutely knew and trusted that everything was on its way, and it was perhaps going to be even bigger and better than what you could have ever imagined possible, you would not mind waiting. Let's say somebody said to you, okay, I've got £1 million coming your way, but you've got to wait a month for it. Would you spend that month in frustration, or would you spend it in excited anticipation? You would do the latter. And this is how you have to treat all of your desires, with that happy, excited anticipation that it is on its way. It is already a done deal. Okay? We have to give the universe a little bit of space to work its magic. And while it's doing so, we have to keep that consistency going. And that consistency is important. Okay, it's almost like, it reminds me of yesterday I took my daughter out. She's learning to ride a bike, and she's riding a bike, and all of a sudden she stops pedaling. And as soon as she stops, to get going again, I can see that it's taking a lot of effort from her. She's quite small. And so she's really having to sort of put her, her energy into getting the bike going again. And I said to her, look, rather than stopping completely, if you need to slow down, just slow down. But don't completely put the brakes on, okay? You don't need to come to a complete halt. Just keep the wheels rolling. Because if you do that, it's easier to pick your momentum and your speed back up again. And the same can be true for life, okay? Don't just put the brakes on. Slow and steady is absolutely fine as long as you're keeping yourself moving forwards, as long as there is consistency with that forward momentum, okay? And the better it gets, the better it gets. And remember, in a blink of an eye, everything can change. So I hope that this has inspired you to go out and create your snowball effect within your lives, where the better it gets, the better it gets. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, ladies, and I will catch you on the next episode. If you are wanting to build your own successful online coaching business, make sure to check out Freedom, Abundance and Impact, our free 10-day business and mindset course for coaches and aspiring coaches. To access, simply head to wearetheclique.com and click free course in the menu.